was born. Half a man, half a fish. His name was CodEye. Shunned by a cruel society, he retreated to his shack. His one passion was to tell stories. But he had no stories. He met a travelling man who would regale him with tales. One day, CodEye did him over and decided to ignore the copyright infringements. These are those stories.
There comes a time in a podcaster's life when he sets himself a quota of episodes to produce. For me, it was 10. 10 of my finest stories to whet the inside of your ears. However, after reaching 6, I ran out of ideas. And we all know what happens when someone in charge of entertainment runs out of ideas, don't we? Yep. Zombies. Do something with zombies. So that's exactly what I've done. It was a cool morning in New Flathead, which is quite unusual, because it's normally hot in these parts. In fact, it was the middle of summer. So why was it so cold? New Flathead wasn't an overly large town. To be frank, it was a dump. You know when you go to visit a friend in their new flat, you drive into the town centre and think, what a dump. Well, that's New Flathead, my friend. A small gold mining town on the western frontier. But there was no gold, it turns out, just large deposits of uranium. In the distance, about 300 yards away, there was a man on a horse charging into town. Again, this was odd, because strangers are normally reluctant to even walk into New Flathead, let alone charge. 3 weeks later, the man arrived in town. He pulled up his horse next to the Hawk and Monkey Tavern. He dismounted from his horse and strolled into the saloon. There, Filthy Williams, the tavern owner, greeted him.
Howdy, stranger!
The man slowly walked to the bar and leant menacingly on it. He raised his head. 2 angry eyes stared straight into Filthy Williams' soul.
I hear you got zombies. There's no zombies here, my good man. I hear you got zombies. Look, I just told you we don't have zombies. We're not that sort of a town.
The man grabbed Filthy Williams by the arm and stared deep into his eyes.
I hear you got zombies. Sir, you're hurting me.
The rest of the customers in the tavern quietly made their way out of the saloon.
Fine, I'll be back. In the meantime, take my card.
The man handed over a small business card that read, Peter Turst, professional zombie catcher. Now open Sundays.
I'll be back. Everyone gets zombies sooner or later. But I told you, we're not that sort of a town. Everybody gets zombies. When the ideas run out, that's when they come.
Peter Turst raised his hat in acknowledgement. Then with a hop, a skip, a flip, a smile, and a cartwheel, he was gone. Moments later, he reappeared in the door.
I just remembered that's my old number on the card. Just ring the operator and they'll put you through to me.
He then did an impressive backflip and landed right on his horse and rode off into the distance.
What a strange man!
The following day, the tavern was busy as usual. Sheriff Ramsay was occupied looking into the bottom of a whiskey glass, while Old Man Crosby was tickling the ivories on the piano in the corner. The Fraser twins were sinking tequilas near the window, and in through the door walked... Oh no, him again.
I hear you got zombies.
The tavern went silent. Crosby hid under his piano, while the Fraser twins rose to their feet. The sheriff told them to sit back down while he made his way over to Peter Turst.
Are you the sheriff?
I am.
I hear you got zombies, sheriff.
Nope. No zombies here. I checked myself this morning.
I hear you got zombies.
The Fraser twins stood back up.
I told you to sit down, boys. I'm dealing with this.
The fact he knew the Fraser twins had stood up without even having to look back just proved why Sheriff Ramsay was the best sheriff New Flathead had ever had. The Fraser twins grabbed the bottle of tequila and threw it at Peter Turst. Instead, the bottle landed right on the back of Sheriff Ramsay's head.
God damn it, boys.
Sorry, Sheriff. My ailing ain't been right since that last bottle of tequila.
Sheriff Ramsay turned back round to face Peter Turst, but he'd vanished into thin air.
Where'd he get off to?
I just had to go to the toilet. Sorry about that.
Peter Turst walked back from the toilet and faced Sheriff Ramsay again.
Now, listen, boy. Why do you keep coming in here talking of zombies? Everyone knows there ain't no zombies around these parts.
Truth is, Sheriff, everybody gets zombies sooner or later.
It won't happen here. We're full of ideas.
Everybody thought Call of Duty was full of ideas. They ran out. Now they got zombies.
The rest of the town muttered to each other in agreement.
How about Red Dead? Open world, sandbox style gameplay, fantastic graphics, creative storylines, witty dialogue, plenty of room for new characters and new locations. It couldn't possibly happen to them. Guess what? They ran out ideas. Now they got loads of zombies.
The crowd again muttered in agreement. One woman in the back fainted, although that was probably due to her low blood sugar.
Hey, piano man, set the scene.
Old Man Crosby rose back from under the piano and began playing.
You think you got ideas? In one little podcast town, it's only a matter of time before the zombies get you.
You've a good point. Red Dead had the potential to be a game of the year. If it can happen to them, it can happen to us.
I can help you folks. Help prepare you for when the zombies come. Get everybody to the town hall tonight.
But it's bingo night at the town hall.
Okay, well, what time does the bingo finish?
9 o'clock. Dead.
Right, 9:10 at the town hall tonight. Be there if you want to survive. Here's my card.
Peter Turst handed his card to Sheriff Ramsay that read, Peter Turst, Zombie Preparation 101. Sheriff Ramsay read the card, then looked up to see Peter Turst had vanished again. Once again, he reappeared in the door.
Oh yeah, don't forget to bring white paint, nylon rope, a penknife, and enough biscuits for everyone.
It was 9:10, and everybody was piling into the town hall. However, there was no sign of Peter Turst. As people were busy talking, they failed to notice the zombie creep into the hall behind the curtains. It slowly lumbered its way towards Sheriff Ramsay, who was at the front of the crowd. Before it could get any nearer to the sheriff, the Fraser twins spotted the figure from the corner of the room. Without hesitation, they grabbed their guns and fired towards the zombie.
God damn it, boys.
Yet again, the Fraser twins had misaimed their shots and hit the sheriff.
Sorry, Sheriff. That tequila must still be affecting me.
What the hell were you shooting at?
The zombie behind you.
The sheriff spun round to see the zombie shuffling towards him. Quick as a flash, without any panic, he pulled out his gun from its holster and aimed at the zombie. Yet again, more proof of the professionalism and calm under fire attitude that made Sheriff Ramsey the best sheriff in all of the western frontier. Also, why I never questioned the tax increase, to pay for his high wages.
Whoa, it's only me.
The zombie removed its head to reveal it was only Peter Turst in disguise.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I did this to prove that you have no plan for the zombies, and I was right. You aren't prepared.
We aren't prepared because you're supposed to be helping us.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
How do we prepare, then?
Peter Turst made his way to the podium and began to speak to the crowd.
It's easy to fight off the zombies once they turn up. Shoot them in the head, set fire to them, lick their face, cancel their mortgage and chain them up in the garden and use them as your pet.
I had a pet once. Next thing I knew, the police were knocking on my door. They released him and said it was wrong.
We've all seen the films and played the games. The real question to work out is how the films and games got to that situation in the first place.
The crowd muttered enthusiastically.
At some point during a production meeting, all of the writers, studio executives, etc., will have sat around a table to discuss ideas for future films. It's at this point that not one of these people will have had an idea. Then boom, somebody shouts out, "What about zombies?" And that's when it happens.
So what you're saying is we must never run out of ideas.
Exactly. You need to all be original and creative. Go on, Sheriff. Give us a scenario for a situational comedy.
Well, a man has to share a haunted house with his ex-wife who's got a venereal disease.
Good one. A bit surreal, but I like it.
Peter Turst pulled out his notepad and began writing down the sheriff's idea.
Okay, you, the man who runs the tavern, think of a video game idea.
Filthy Williams, the tavern owner, sat trying to think of something.
I'm sorry, I can't think of anything.
The woman who had previously fainted in the tavern jumped up from the back of the town hall.
He's got no ideas. Shoot him.
The Fraser twins turned round and shot at Filthy Williams, but again, a poor misfire sent the bullets at the woman.
God damn it, boys.
Sorry, Sheriff.
Do you not realize that to shoot someone with no ideas is a brilliant idea?
Sheriff Ramsey pulled out his gun and shot Filthy Williams.
Sorry about that, Mr. Turst. Do continue.
Well, you seem to have the right idea. You got to remember to keep your ideas original. Be creative. Use random word generators to make up a plotline. Reference Wikipedia for ideas. Get stories of those old people that ramble on about anything. And if people don't have ideas, then you must shoot them. They are a liability to you all.
Not sure that last bit is very advisable, and I'm taking no responsibility for your actions. The lecture went on into the early hours of the morning. Peter Turst had prepared the town for any zombie attacks, and in the process had got himself a notepad full of original ideas.
Well, my work here is done.
Peter Turst climbed back onto his horse and rode off into the distance, leaving the rest of the town armed to the teeth and shouting ideas out at each other, when a creative block hit the Fraser twins.
I'm sorry, Sheriff. I can't think of anything.
The sheriff instantly pointed his rifle at the Fraser twins.
Did I hear you say you had no ideas?
No, I've got ideas. Yeah.
I'm taking no chances with you two.
Shooting someone with no ideas? That's such an unoriginal idea to have.
The Fraser twins pointed their guns towards the sheriff. Old Man Crosby decided to sort the situation out.
A standoff? How unoriginal!
Old Man Crosby pulled out 2 pistols and pointed them at the twins and the sheriff. Before long, the whole situation had escalated out of control until everyone had a gun pointed at each other. While the town of New Flathead was locked in this impossible standoff, Peter Turst had ridden his horse onto the Hollywood Plaza in his best suit with a notepad full of ideas. This was the land of opportunities, and Peter Turst was about to get his. He entered the studio, barging into the executive's office, where he met Los Angeles Jackson, a man with fine suits and even finer cigars.
I hear you got zombies. No, sir. We prefer ideas at this studio. Real hardcore, original ideas. Well, I got ideas.
Peter Turst threw his notepad over towards Los Angeles Jackson. He began flipping through it.
No. Rubbish. Rubbish. Oh, wait. Oh. No, it's rubbish.
Los Angeles Jackson threw the notepad back at Peter Turst in disgust.
You call these ideas, boy. What did you do? Trick some podcast town and then giving you all of their rubbish and wrote it down? This is a film studio, boy, not a podcast studio. Do you see podcast studios? No, exactly. We need film ideas here.
As Peter Turst despondently slumped out of the office, Los Angeles Jackson spotted a business card that had fallen out of the notepad.
Peter Turst, zombie catcher. I like it. Add a young female lead, lots of zombies, real ones, not actors. Explosions, cars, guns, tits, tanks, them little green army men, tits. Stick a comedian in the play support role for quick hits, and touch them tits. Oh, them titties. Have a lorry sliding down the highway on its side for at least 15 minutes. What's that thing that hangs around in the sky with wings and they spin about? You know, them spinny things that go really fast.
A helicopter.
Yeah, that's it. Then it crashes into the sea and turns it into a submarine where the fish take over the controls. Fish, zombie fish, yeah, zombie fish, zombie fish, yeah. Zombie fish take over the submarine and start a nuclear war with Russia. Then there's this dog that you think is dead. But at the end of the film, you find out it survived. Then everybody goes, oh. And tits, we will make millions.
Put me in charge of casting and you have yourself a deal. 2 overexcited men shook hands.
Okay, you got yourself a movie, Peter Turst.
The moral of the story? Well, always think of original ideas. Be creative. Never give your ideas to strange people who mention zombies. In the town of New Flathead? Well, how about you write in and tell us what you think happened? Because I'm out of ideas. Oh, and the film? It grosses $20 million on the opening weekend, but later got banned for explicit content.